can't find nothing on the radio.
You ready, Steve?
Welcome to Songology. He's Bruce,
He's Richard.
and this is another episode from our Song of the Day archives.
Enjoy.
Welcome back, Bruce. And before we get to the Song of the Day, this is a very special episode. This is number 100.
Yes, if you count from the beginning of the time that you convinced me that we should do a Song of the Day bit because you were suddenly going to be a radio DJ. Yes, this is the 100th episode of Song of the Day.
Wow.
So hello and welcome to it.
And for this 100th episode, who do we have today who did not make it to number 1?
In fact, you have the band War and their song Cisco Kid. War was originally more or less came to prominence as a backing band for Eric Burdon. Remember Eric Burdon of The Animals? House of the Rising Sun, that?
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. Well, after the Animals split up, Eric Burdon went off on his own and very quickly grabbed onto these guys. They were a bunch of black musicians from the West Coast of the States. They had been playing in different places, a few different configurations. And because they were such a motley crew of guys, one of the music producers, they had been called Night Shift, and they, at one stage, had even worked backing up Deacon Jones, the football player, who fancied himself a singer for a while. So the manager said, you guys are really a motley crew. I got a good idea. Let's just call you War. And that was because he and Eric Burdon had been riding along the freeway in L.A., and there was a billboard that John Lennon had purchased with pictures of he and Yoko Ono talking about peace.
Right.
And so they said, well, hey, we're the opposite of John and Yoko, so I guess we must be War. So that's sort of where those guys got going. And they made, as I think, I don't know if I mentioned so far, they made 7 trips into the top 10 in their career, but the highest they ever got was number 2 with the song Cisco Kid, which is the song that I have for you today. It's a kind of a funky little thing. It's something that when they went through, somebody interviewed the members of War and asked them various things about the music that they'd played. And one member, the guitar guy, said that he said that the Cisco Kid was the most fun of all the songs that they ever did. The drummer cites this as his most exact drumming that he ever did in his whole career. So the Cisco Kid was actually, took the inspiration from a TV show. The character actually goes back to a short story written by O. Henry, of all people. Remember how O. Henry wrote that Christmas story, The Gift of the Magi?
Yes.
Remember that one? Okay, well, in addition to that, he wrote Pulp Fiction and wrote about a desperado on the Texas-Mexican border. And this idea was picked up in silent films and then went on into talkies. There are a couple of dozen different films that have been made featuring the Cisco Kid as a character. Many of them also feature his best-known sidekick, a guy by the name of Pancho.
Oh.
And eventually, it made its way onto radio.
Yes.
Using various actors in the lead role. Eventually, they settled on an actor by the name of Duncan Ronaldo. And he, according to what the internet tells me, they did 600 episodes of the Cisco Kid radio show between 1947 and 1956. But they put it on TV with Duncan Ronaldo in the lead role. And so it was very popular and very unique at the time. And the reason why the guys from War picked it up was it was their guitarist, Howard Scott. He came up with the idea because he and the drummer, Harold Brown, were sitting around. They were at Howard's apartment in Compton area of LA, which is now more recently featured in rap songs, I believe. Not knowing very much about rap music, it seems to be named Straight Outta Compton comes to mind. Anyway, well, before rap people were coming out of Compton, these guys were coming out of Compton. And Howard says to Harold, I've got this idea because that time, there were no ethnic heroes on TV. All the heroes were white guys.
Right.
The only guy that was in any way ethnic was the Mexican Cisco Kid. And so, oh, okay, and so he had come up with the line, Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. And away they went from there, and they wrote the song. They actually later got to meet Duncan Ronaldo. They were invited up to his house. He was elderly, and the one fellow in the band says that his wife made very clear that he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink because there's a line in the song about drinking whiskey and drinking wine.
Yeah.
And she was going to make it clear that no, Duncan doesn't drink. Don't be giving him any liquor.
Yeah.
So, and they used to, when they performed this live, they would, if they could, sometimes start the show with a screen behind the band, and they would play a movie clip from the Cisco Kid, and it would run up to the point where the Cisco Kid says, "See you later, amigo," and then they would hit the house lights, and war would launch into this song, which was probably a pretty cool opening.
Yes.
So, imagine the movie screen and a Mexican cowboy saying, "See you later, amigo," and here's war with the Cisco Kid.
As usual, I have to stop it right there while we work out the fair use rules on YouTube. This is our first week of Be My Number 2. Artists or bands never made it to the #1 spot on the Hot 100 list. As usual, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. You can visit us on Facebook or our website, songology.ca. Now here's your chance to listen to the music or go on to the next episode. Or hear a dog bark.